Yes, I'll ask you, look at me, whatever. Whatever's comfortable. No, not much stress. Okay. Alrighty, turn that down a bit. Hey, what's up, New Zealand and the world? Lucas Lawman's Kiwi Voice, standing outside, obviously, the Christchurch City Council building with Councillor Sam MacDonald. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with us.
No problem.
Just getting a quick update on Three Waters. Very topical at the moment, obviously, with the court case in Wellington going on with those three councillors there, or three mayors there. So, Sam, just wanting to ask and get a bit of clarification for the public out there. What is Christchurch City Council's position on Three Waters officially?
Absolutely. Well, firstly, thank you for doing this. I think it's really important that people have a voice and they get to see objective information. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
Cool.
Look, I think certainly from a Christchurch point of view, we're opposed to the reforms in their current format. What it means is we lose $7 billion of our assets.
Wow.
And they're putting them into these companies where we will effectively have no control. Yep. And when you take a position like ours and say, well, hang on, we manage the roads, we manage the infrastructure, and they're wanting to remove a large part of that, there's a lot of inefficiencies that will be created, and I think a removal of local democracy. So we're opposed to it in its current form.
Okay. And what actions are the council, other than publicly being opposed, what actions are the council taking to back up that position? Yeah,
so we're a member of Communities for Local Democracy. Okay. So we've funded them. They're a sort of splinter group, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but they're a separate group from the LGNZ working group that was established because they had a particular view that we subscribe to. That isn't a racist view or anything like that. That's literally a democratic view, and our view has been, well, actually, we represent the people of Christchurch. They vote us in. We should be upholding the principles of democracy.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually talked to a New Zealand historian a week or so ago, Tom MacDonald, bit of a legend, and he's got the whole detail around co-governance and all that stuff, and he puts it exactly as you say, democratic position, because he actually speaks fluent Te Reo and all of that as well, so really cool. So I understand your position there. Now, in regards to the roadshow that popped up recently here that we all attended, we've got some coverage on Kiwi Voice as well, and now I've been looking at it, but I've forgotten the name of the document that you signed.
Community Leaders Appeal.
That's the one. Thank you for prompting me. Appreciate that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, look, I was really pleased. So obviously on the forecourt here at the Christchurch City Council was the first of the Taxpayers Union roadshow, and for a relatively quickly drawn together meeting, there was well over 100 people here. So I was really pleased to be the first to sign that appeal. That effectively calls on the Prime Minister to stop the reforms in their current form. They've been incredibly undemocratic, and I think, and I will say it, actually dishonest in their approach. They've told us things which haven't been true. They've led the public down a path of consultation when actually they'd already made decisions. And you sort of think, really, if we're looking at democracy as the principle of all of this, actually they haven't gone into this in good faith. So that appeal is, I think, really important. I hope the government will listen. And the interesting thing with these reforms is if you look at other contentious reforms that governments have pushed through, they normally don't span over 2 election cycles. And so I think the government have really dug themselves into a position here, which means that actually, this won't go away. It's a very long, drawn-out process with a lot of councillors and also opposition MPs with, unfortunately or fortunately, A-type personalities who won't let this happen. So we're committed to fighting it. There's no doubt that actually in some parts of the country there is the need for investment in infrastructure. But when you have a population like ours, actually the economies of scale make sense. So our ratepayers will continue under these reforms to subsidise other parts of the South Island, and that just doesn't work.
That's a pretty common concern, actually, in regards to that. Now, I'll close it off, Sam, around, now you were on Chris Lynch not that long ago, regards some spending that was around, was it just promotion of, can you just go into that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I put in an Official Information Act request, which was delayed by the government, which was quite funny because they had a public meeting on Three Waters and it was delayed till after that. But it turned out that they'd spent $34 million on consultants and lawyers and travel and accommodation without a single pipe being put into the ground. And you kind of go, if they genuinely believe their rhetoric, which is that we're underinvesting in infrastructure, why on earth would you spend $34 million on consultants, on lawyers, on food and accommodation and airfares when actually, you could put pipes in the ground? That worked out, and sorry to go on about it, but for $34 million, that was the equivalent of 100 kilometres of pipe that could be in the ground. So you wonder where their priorities really are.
Yeah, 100%. That's nice and clear. I really appreciate that. Thanks for taking the time to give us this update. As per usual, team, comment down below. I encourage you, if you're active on Facebook, get amongst all the comments on Kiwi Voice. I don't know how that plays with the council side of things, but
I'll have a look.
Awesome. Thanks, team. Stay safe, stay free, and thanks for talking to us.
Great,
awesome.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Good as. Simple as that.
Cool. Hey, thanks for that. That's great.